3 and a 2 and a 1. Hello everybody and welcome to the Eastern eCrit powered by Kiss and Swift Community Live. As always, you're joined by Jesper Anker and Mr. Wesley Salzberger. How you doing, Wes?
I'm good, Jasper, and I have my green Watopia grass behind me that I'm just going to lay back on. Yeah, we've got the green screen, but we're halfway there, and it looks like these riders are ready to race.
It looks like you're covering up some sort of painting behind you, or maybe even a window. I mean, are you right now in like your corner office on like your penthouse facilities? Is that what you are? The business is booming?
I'm in an enterprise. I'm in an enterprise in Launceston, so a startup space for young entrepreneurs. So, yeah, they've let me use this space, and I've got a nice big curtain behind me. It looks like Nadsy's straight out of the holes tonight. Nadsy's up and amongst it. He's been away for a couple of weeks at the fire brigade, and now is back in amongst it in this racing. So he's really keen to get this underway. And Jones, in the Bumblebee outfit, hasn't got the KOM jersey on this time, Jasper.
I do prefer the Bumblebee outfit, though, much more. Com shows that he's in form, but the Bumblebee means he's in business right now. But speaking of Nadsy, I know you're the head coach of WP Taz. Aaron Dunn no longer needs the points. Ockerby still needs to be up there. But if you are WP Taz, don't you reshift your focus towards Nadsy and try to get him into that finale?
Definitely, because Nadsy's such a good worker as well. Nadsy will really lay everything on the line for the other guys. So if he was to get through and become into that top 6, then he'd be a great worker for those guys in the finale. And also very capable of, for himself to get up there and have amongst it. So hopefully we see Nadsy feature up here and these guys give him a bit of support.
I mean, there is 140 points left on the line. There's 7 races, including this one, left to race in the eCrit series. Nadsy is currently sitting in 10th place, and he's about 40 to 50 points away from actually heading into that top 5, top 6 spot. So it's not impossible to get up there. And I think he's got the power to do it. It's just that he lays himself out like day in and day out for Ockerby and for Aaron Dunn. But Aaron Dunn has got 259 points. That's a 100-point buffer with 7 weeks to go. Do you change it up? Do you have Aaron Dunn work for Nadsy? Can Nadsy sprint?
Yeah, Nadsy can sprint. He's got a pretty good spear on him. Probably not as quick as Ockerby and Dunn, but still definitely quick enough to be up there in the placings, given the right sort of scenario. But the other thing with Nadsy is his work commitment. So I'm pretty sure that he did say that he will be away down the coast again in the weeks coming. So he's going to be not be able to race. But I'm going to push him very hard to try and take his trainer with him while he goes and works down the coast of Tasmania. So, yeah, I think Nadsy really should give himself an all-out shot at this because he definitely deserves to be in there. He's calling for a wildcard entry, actually, a lot of hashtag wildcard entry. But we'll really hope that we can get Nadsy through racing in the final of this in the 19th of September down in Melbourne. The riders will take part. Me and Jesper will be live. We are live now, but we'll be live in person with these races, and it is going to be East meets West. There we go. I get told off for doing that, but Jasper just does in the background. So East meets West. So yeah, back to the racing anyway. So it will be on the 19th of September in Melbourne at the new Rafa store. So they opened the new store a couple of weeks back now. So yeah, it's going to be a really good night and a really good feel. So make sure that if you are racing it, get behind the other races that are racing it. So if you're in Melbourne, come along. It's going to be a really good event.
I actually want to touch on that because I had a question from, I know your favorite, John O'Bage earlier today, and he was like, Jesper, if I make the final cut, I'm not sure I can actually afford to travel all the way to Melbourne because he's from the western part of Australia. Don't worry about that because if you make the cut, it's on Swift's dime. You're going to be invited and logistics are going to be paid for you. I'm fairly certain that there's 99% certain. So if you do make the cut, don't worry, it'll be an all-exclusive invite to Melbourne. So just focus on racing because when it comes down to that decision, don't worry about it. But yes, the eCrit series, there is something on the line. They've been racing for 15 weeks straight. This is the 16th week. Only one rider has raced so far that I know every single race, and he's our current leader, Aaron Dunn. So that's just mad. 15 weeks. What is that? 4 months of racing? Every Tuesday?
Yep, every Tuesday he's rocked up every single time.
Wow, that's commitment. But could you imagine if Nadsy is on his kicker and suddenly the fire alarm goes off and he goes, just wait one moment guys, I've got one interval left, I'll be right there with you. Afterwards he goes out, pours up his protein shake, shakes it, he's like, okay guys, get on my compression socks. Now I'm ready. Let's save some kittens. Oh, God.
Yeah.
This is by far, by the way, my highlight of the week, doing the eCrit broadcast with US. It is so much fun to sit here and throw our banter while watching Aussie's finest.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen too many attacks, so the people must be having a little listen to our banter and hopefully getting a chuckle out of it, because we've seen the bunch sort of all just grouped up here together. We have got a fair few riders in there tonight, so that is good to see. But hopefully we'll see some new names and some other people feature in this race and get in amongst it. You know, they may not be able to get inside that top 6 now, but they can definitely get it in amongst here and shake up the racing. We see Neil Wesley in there. We see MacArthur. We've got a couple other people in there, probably that are new names in there. I see a couple of new names in there, just that I haven't seen before. Zavatsky, obviously, quite a good sprinter. And S. Hill, so that's Sam Hill. So I'm pretty sure if that is the right S. Hill, it would be Sam Hill. So that's the brother of Ben Hill. So we've seen Benny up here and actually win one of these races before. So Sam is quite a strong rider as well and races in the NRS racing series in Australia. So yeah, he'll be one to watch. He's usually pretty aggressive. I've seen him do some long range attacks in Canberra at Tour of Canberra a couple of years back. So yeah, he'll be one to sort of watch out for tonight.
So, Ben Hill initially raised the eCrit series to get over his broken collarbone, I think it was. But it looks like Sam Hill is on here just to get in some fitness. But he's sitting at the back, he's racing with a heart rate monitor, but I'm telling you, he's rocking that Swift Classic bike, and he is suffering in there. And there, the pack is slowly thinning out. Savatsky's actually one of the riders caught off by this, and he's now got to burn one of those matches to try and bridge the gap. As we go on board with Savatsky, this is what he's seeing. This is how big the gap is up to that front group, and he's definitely not in the draft right now. And he's putting out 6.5 watts per kilo, just trying to get back up there. And being the sprinter that Savatsky is, this is not ideal. As you want to save all your matches, just burn them in one go. But this is cycling. If you don't pay attention, this is what happens.
Yeah, we did see the bunch just fall apart there. Always like someone's gone on the front there and give it a bit of a surge. It wasn't it wasn't an attack, but it was definitely a strong bit of power play down there, and that's caused the bunch to thin out a little bit there. We see G. Watson up there again from Utah's Sports Science Kiss. He gets a longer name every week, so we see him up there again. And now we will also see we'll see the Bumblebee outfit up here soon. I imagine that he's ready for that shakedown. It could have even been Jones up there stringing that out early on. He does like to increase. There we go. I called it. I picked it like a dirty nose. I thought he'd be up the front there and made sure that he'd be really hurting these riders early on. He likes to keep the pace high, Jones. Doesn't like to sit around. So he's making sure that these riders have a good workout as well, and likes to thin down that bunch.
Picked it like a dirty nose. Dave Hassan, by the way, now into the attack with a Pat Shaw. I know Pat Shaw has made his intentions real clear to me that he's really wanting to go to that eCrit finale. He knows he's fighting an uphill battle coming into this race in the second half of the series, but he is not that far behind, and he's raced 5 races in total, and he's only skipped out on 10 points. He's gathered 90 points in 5 races. That just shows how good Pat Shaw is, and he's riding into form here. I know Troy Hairfoss mentioned that he might actually get into the action today, and I saw him out warming up earlier today, but it looks like he has not made the cut and decided to join the eCrit tonight. He's busy doing his MotoGP action that the season has started up again. He's currently doing that, trying to do his three-peat, so 3 times consecutive back-to-back-to-back MotoGP champion down in Australia. Best of luck with that. Same thing goes to Pat Shaw, who's 2 seconds off the front here.
Pat Shaw has been a little bit crook last week. He said he had a bit of tummy issues, so he said he's probably a little bit lighter now from that issue he had, but he's up in amongst the front here now, making sure that he's keeping active. And I'm starting to heat up in here, actually. I can feel the heat from the ride. I think I'm going to take this jacket off. And Pat Shaw's just sort of testing the legs there. He'll just do a bit of a shakedown and see who's interested. And I'm surprised Jones would have probably been the first one to react to that. But sort of just holding back here now. We see one rider here starting to dangle off the front here. And who's that, Jasper? Can't quite make that out. Aleph. All right, it's Tom Aleph. So Tom Aleph is also one of the Wolfpack crew from down in Tassie, and he's quite a strong time trialer, so probably a good person to get away with there, Tom Aleph. We saw him feature at the end there the other week when Nadsy was away, and he tried to do a move across, but didn't quite quite work for the guys, sort of dragged it up. But he's learnt from that experience, and he'll make sure that he when he goes clear, he's going to go clear by himself tonight if he decides to attack.
I just want to point out, by the way, that Jeffrey Keel, who is currently on his way to like skyrocket into the lead in the Western race, this morning at 1:30 a.m. local time, he was up racing the Vision versus Team Experimental. It's now 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, his local time, and he's currently lending out a hand to Anthony Vegan Porsche. And in 2 hours' time, 7 o'clock his local time, he's going to be racing the Western eCrit, sorry. So that's 3 races in the span of, what, 20 hours? And nonetheless, they're swift races. That's just incredible.
Yep, that shows the focus here these riders have for these races. They are not just online races; they are the online races. Everyone really wants to make sure they make these races and get amongst it. So that is full commitment there. So die hard Zwift racer. So is that a bit of the Zwift effect, do you think, Jasper?
Oh, most definitely. The Zwift effect covers so many different angles. It's addictive, but it also makes you better. But the thing is, he woke up at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. He didn't just coast. He sat onto Scotty Weiss's wheel of America, the world champion of the Masters Grand Fondo series. He averaged 6 watts per kilo for a good 40 to 45 minutes. 6 watts per kilo. And now, 15, 20 hours later, he's all doing it again. Some people just don't know when to call it quit.
Some people just have that energy. So that is good to see that we have these races in here that will just lay everything on the line, not leaving anything to chance. So Keel is really, that is impressive. So full respect to Keel. 3 races within 24 hours on Zwift, and also at 1 a.m. in the middle of the night. So yeah, that's full commitment. But back to the racing here now, and we will see a couple of moves. Oh, it looks like we're going back to lava fields there. Now we're back in it. We do see a few of the power-ups being used now to get rid of those power-ups if they probably don't like the power-up they've got. Oh, that's an arrow being used there, though, by, how would you play
Nevins,
last
Jay
name?
Nevins out of Sakhaide. He races for Sakhaide, I think that is.
Sakhaide. Okay, so Jay Nevins is up and amongst it here, using that little bit of an aero boost there. So I don't know whether he wants to go on with this on his own or he's hoping that someone will join him, because this is a long slog on your own. So we see the bunch coming back up behind him now, and that looks like another aero being used over the top there. So someone looks like they're going to go on with this move here with an aero, or they just decided to use an aero pup just to sit in the bunch. That is a very strange tactic there. Maybe they've dropped a bit of sweat off the end of their nose onto the iPhone and use that power up. We've seen that done with Dunn before, and we just got a message earlier actually from Dunn saying that he had some dropouts. So yeah,
again,
that's very unfortunate.
That's the second week in a row, I think.
Yeah, he needs to go switch his provider. If he's on Optus or whatever, he needs to go to Telstra, or if he's on vice versa. So hopefully he can sort that out. We can see Dunn in there in amongst it now, but I assume he'd be a lap down if he's had that dropout.
No, he's still in the front group. He's still in the front. I just saw his name pop up. He's still right here in the middle of the shot.
Yeah, as long as we didn't pass him, I don't think. So he must have got back in there, but you said he had dropout from the start. So yeah, he must have had a bit of a time trial to get it back on. So that's unfortunate. That would have used a few biscuits there. But back to seeing Pat Shaw up on the front here. Pat Shaw is really hoping to get through into this series to come down to Melbourne. He's really targeting this now, and we saw him come in just sort of to have a bit of a dabble the first couple of rounds of this, but and he was very aggressive and finished second in the first race back. So he's really taking this quite seriously now, and he's training pretty hard for this series and doing a lot of the other eFondo races. So Pat Shaw is really targeting this now. I think he really would love that crown.
He heard the praise. He heard the praise, and now he's singing the song. Pat Shaw off the front at 12 watts per kilo.
Nice work, Pat. Using that aero power up here and creating a good gap, and quite quickly as well. We see a few reactions coming out of the bunch here now. Who's that coming across there? Porsche is coming across.
And Anthony Vegan Porsche trying to bridge across. This is danger for the peloton. 3 of the strongest riders in the pack. Ouch.
Yep. That's going to hurt. So that's going to cause a bit of a chain reaction down that line in that pillow. That peloton's going to stretch out now. We'll probably see a few more go off the back here. So it's getting down to a really tight group here of racers. Pat Shaw's continuing on this. He's getting a few ride-ons from also from Jasper as well, getting it right on there. So that is very good work. If you get one from Jasper, you must be doing well.
I love seeing 12, 13 watts per kilo, 10 kilometers into the race. I mean, for any normal athlete, that'd be the entire book thrown out the window. For Pat Shaw, it's just having a dibble at the front to see who else is up for it. But it was quite interesting to see Anthony Vegan Porsche react to that attack, because his philosophy the last few weeks has been, okay, I'm going to sit in, I'm going to save up, I'm going to let all the other ones work, and then hopefully, at the very, very end of this, I can gain a few positions. But today, he's throwing everything out there. He is second place right now, but his lead has been dwindling. It's been coming down, and it's about 20 points now to third place, and it was at some point even 100 points. So Anthony Vegan Porsche knows that to actually still contend in 7 weeks' time, he needs to find points here and there. And I mean, if Luke Ockerby, if Anthony Vegan Porsche, and Pat Shaw and Damon Hassan got away, I'm not sure who would actually pace that down, because that's the 4 main contenders of the race. Aussie Hot Day Ride, Team Vision, Team WP Taz, and the man himself, Pat Shaw. So, I mean, could have worked, but in cycling, sometimes not always the ideal situation goes away.
No, that's it. I did see B. Johnson. I wonder if that's Ben Johnson from the Gold Coast, ex-former pro cyclist. So he has his bike shop now on the Gold Coast. So he also has Johnson Bikes. So if we wonder if we can have a little bit of a look through that later on. But we see Jones here going off the front, mixing it up again, waiting for that reaction now. Pat Shaw would be the first one, obviously, to probably try and come across here. Then it's probably some of these other riders, like Tom Aliff would be one of the riders from the Wolfpack crew that's been quite aggressive the last couple of series of races. So we will see a bit of a reaction come back through here now. From the bunch, and
this is going to
hopefully
be a tough race, Wes, because Anthony just had to pop an aero power up just to hang on to the group now. That's how high the pace is right now. They're using aero power ups just to hang on.
Yeah, I did see that earlier, but when we saw him come under that banner, they're using the aero power ups quite early. So yeah, the pace is on here, and people are really starting to suffer there. We see the heart rate's up at 180 here, so it's quite high. S. Johnson there, so that is not Shannon Johnson, but may have good turn of pace as well. Did leave a comment for me on one of the Zwift Oz pages saying he's not as quick as Shannon Johnson and not a sprinter, but he's up here getting amongst it. That quite high heart rate here and quite a bit of power down at the moment too. So good work there, Johnson.
Did you know, Wes, that equipment actually plays a massive role in Zwift racing? So we're seeing S. Johnson. He's on a Zwift Classics bike. If you take that bike compared to the bike that I saw Oliver Jones was on, which was the Cervelo S5, over an entire lap of the Watopia, oh, this might be wrong, but I saw a Zwift blog on this, one of the Watopia courses, I think it was the flat course, if they're at the same wattage, the same kilo, the same height, the Cervelo S5 will be 50 seconds faster than the classic Zwift bike. That's how much equipment matters. Yes, 50 seconds.
Okay, that's huge. That is huge. I know that out on the actual road in the real world, over 100 kilometers with shaved legs is meant to be 3 seconds on the grapevine.
And you got to take any marginal gain you can, but 50 seconds.
50 seconds, that is a huge amount.
It is. So put in the work, get the upgrades. The Cervelo S5, I think, is like level 24 or level 25, so I know that's quite unobtainable for a lot of riders with their time priorities, but I mean, if you really want to be competitive in this race, getting that Trek Madone, getting the Canyon Aero Road, getting the Zwift Tron bike, or getting the Cervelo S5, you'll see a massive upgrade to your performance. Even when you're rocking like the SIP 808 wheels or the Envy wheels out there on course, you're going to see a massive boost to your performance, because in cycling, equipment matters.
I think we're going to see a few more people logging on at 1 AM with Q after that comment. 50 seconds is a huge amount. So, yeah, hope that is very interesting. I hope that is correct. Otherwise, we're getting some people that are going to be riding their bikes on Zwift over night time and have a pillow on the handlebars just to try and upgrade their bikes. But we will see some action again here. We see the Wolfpack crew up around the front here. Zavarsky is still in the mix here too, so he had a little bit of a dwindle down to the back there before when that split sort of happened, but it looks like he's back in amongst it now. And now we see Neil out in front here, so he's hanging around the front here. We'll also see some other new riders up here. They've got some new names here, Jasper, that I haven't seen up here before, so could you shout out a couple of those names for me?
But I've actually got the Swift blog article up on my page right now. So the Cervelo S5 is the fastest bike in the game as of February this year. The one lap of the Figure 8 course is a 50:58 with the Cervelo S5. The fourth fastest bike in the game is the Swift Aero Road. That's a 51:08. So 10 seconds difference between the first and the fourth fastest bike, and the slowest bike is like Swift Classic. So put that up, multiply it by like 10 or whatever, and you'll see a minute gap in between them. Cervelo S5 is definitely worth the grind out there on the course. But new names, Wes. I'm so excited to see all the new names competing tonight. It's a bit late to join the course, but it's never too late to get individual stage glory out of the eCrit series. So we're seeing JJ out of Australia is in here. I wish we could see which part of Australia they're from. If they're from Perth, if they're from Melbourne, or I don't even know the states. I'm just throwing out names I actually know from down under. We see Yu is also out there from Australia. We've got Rayside from Team Aussie Hump Day, a new name out there. Dr. Newell. We also, I know a few names was thrown around in the start pen. One of them was Brian McCusker, I think it was. I know they'll correct me if I'm wrong. They will correct me if I butcher the name, but there are names out here that could actually throw out some big powers. We're hitting the halfway point and the group is still very much together, Wes.
Yeah, we see Ockerby up around the front here now. So is this Nadzi's off the front here? The fireman is just... He's turned into a pyromaniac. He's lighting fires out. He's lit up by his Tron bike out in front, causing reaction now by the bunch. It looks like a teammate's going across there. Dunn's going across to him here. So that is a 1-2 shake and bake. He wants to get him up on the wheel. I think Dunn's probably going to go out there and give Nadzi a hand. Oh, hopefully let him get on the wheel there. No, he's going to go straight over the top.
Oh, he's coming back though.
Straight over the top.
It's so
Nadzi's coming back here.
The thing about this, Wes,
it's
impossible to time it. Because you got to time it so that when Don comes on your wheel, you're going the same speed, which it's really, really difficult when you can't actually physically look over your shoulder and accelerate as the rider's coming up. There's no, like, depth perception in Swift, really. So...
Not yet, but there will be. There'll probably be something coming. But now we see that the Wolfpack crew are still up here, done, and it looks like we've had a bit of a stretch out there. Hassan is still up there also. So we see the Bumblebee outfit of Jones there. Moving further back, we've got Jay Burns there, and we have Keel is towards the back of that bunch now, so he'll want to probably move up from there and make sure when this next little downhill bit, use it, a bit of a run up to here, keep that power on, roll through, and get it back towards that pointy end, because that's where it's all going to go down. And no doubt there will be some more moves here with this little lull now after that attack. There'll be a little bit of a lull here, then it'll go again.
This is incredible, though. The eCrit, by far my working highlight of the week. Watching Nazi, Ockerby, Dunn, watching Jones, Anthony Deegan, Porsche, Keel, Pat Shaw, Troy Harefoss, Cameron Roberts. I can continue until I'm out of breath, which is actually right now. But this is so fun to watch every week. And Wes, have you had a look at the course schedule for the month of August, which we're about, well, actually just hit today? Have you seen what's up for the next 5 Tuesdays in August?
No, I haven't, Jasper. I haven't done my homework. I haven't looked. I knew that it was a Watopia course today, and I haven't done the old sneaky look forward yet.
Ooh. Actually, we have an attack from JJ and Pat Shaw while I was saying that. JJ trying to pick a fight with the biggest rebel out there in coach, which is Pat Shaw. Always want to attack off the front, joined by Tom Aliff and JJ. But next 5 weeks, today is Watopia, but that will be the only day on the Volcano circuit of the 5 Tuesdays in August. Then we are going to go 3 days in a row on the Classics course. The next 3 Tuesdays will be in London. We're going to be by Buckingham Palace in the Pall Mall Sprint. The 5th day, Wes, 5 Tuesdays in this August, I know, breaking all rules of common sense. It's going to be in Richmond. For the first time ever, we're going to be in Richmond.
Well, that's going to be interesting on the Richmond course with this. Oh, we see Jones going across here now. Jones has laid the smack down. The bunch is thinning out again. Look at that bunch. It's all strung out like Brown's cows here. I don't think they're going to be able to get on the wheel of Jones here. He's holding that power on over nearly 700 watts. He's holding there. And he's going back up again. He's kicking again. He's really high cadence here. And he's... Oh, are there pedestrians there? Yeah.
It's the wrong group. He slowed down. He thought as well as you did that was the right group. But no. It was another kick.
It looked like it, didn't it? Yeah, another little kick here, and he's still hitting 700 watts here. That is a hard hold, and he looks like he's going to roll up to the back of them now. Oof, I can feel that lactic right now.
Oliver Jones, New Zealander, I believe he's like 20 years of age, follow his driver account, he is an up-and-coming, certainly a name we'll see more and more on the Australian and New Zealand race scene, as he's definitely got the watts to back up his claim to the throne here out on the course today. But the pack is stretching out. You've got WP Tash, you got Shaw, you got JJ, and you got Oliver Jones up here. It's only really Vision and Aussie Hump Day missing, and therefore back in the pack we're seeing the pace being upped by some of the... I actually see Luke Ockerby and Nazi put down some of the power on the front. Do they not know they've got Tom Aliff in that front group?
Yeah, but I think they're also thinking maybe about Pat Shaw being away here. Obviously, they don't want to let Pat go away. So if Aliff is up there, he probably should be soft shoeing it almost a little bit if these guys are working on the back.
Being the dumbbell around the ankles for Pat Shaw. And it looks like that's exactly what he did. He sat on the back and he... function as that elastic that just keeps growing out, but it keeps getting heavier, and at some point, man, they're all going to be brought back together. But while now we got 5 seconds of break in the action. I know it won't last long, but Wes, something was announced earlier today over on Dimension Data's Facebook page. Would you do us the honor of actually diving into what was announced?
Yes, so there is a Zwift Academy for the men. So we've had the Zwift Academy for the women, and now there is for the men that is in the under 23 category. So they will be, it will go around to the top 10 of them will go to a training camp in South Africa with Dimension Data. And then from there, it will dwindle down and one rider will be chosen to sign with the Continental team. And then from there, they have the opportunity to sign actually with a pro team after that. So that is pretty cool for any young guys in amongst this racing here. So definitely sign up, get involved in that. I think you're even eligible yourself, Jasper.
Wow. By age standards, we're talking leg standards here. That's a massive difference in between those two. But yeah, with the right coach, I'm sure I can get out there and compete with the very best. But it's okay. The actual prize is within an age category. You have to be under 23 because it's the under 23 team for Dimension Data, the youth program. But to compete, to take part in this community, it doesn't matter how old you are or where you're from in the world. You can be a part of the community. Even if you are 99 years old and you can barely pedal on your kicker, you can do it. I mean, Zwift Academy is so much more than a competition. You're being part of a community. You're essentially getting free coaching on Zwift for 6 weeks. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So get on, see what a structured training plan is like. Then when you're done, you can call up Wes Salzburger and go, okay, Wes, I'm hooked. How do I get in touch with En Route Coaching? That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works. No, not quite, but we will see some very good talent come through that, so that's going to be awesome. And the scene down here in Australia for young guys coming through is really quite strong, so I'm sure we're going to see some good Aussie guys come through.
Oliver Jones, get on it, my friend. If you're 20 years of age, this is made for you.
Oliver Jones, he's onto it. So Oliver Jones, obviously, if you are listening to this, you are definitely eligible. Get in amongst it. You have some good power there. Only 20 years of age, so get in amongst it, Jonesy.
Man, I'm getting old when the talent is younger than me. Oh, God. Time to revisit the life decisions I've made through the years. 21 years of age, and I can already feel the the gray hair.
Brown hair. Okay, we're not talking about that end of things, Jasper. Let's keep back to the racing here now. So Dunn is up the front again here now. So Dunn is just sort of playing a little bit of policeman there, it looks like it tonight. So making sure that nothing's too dangerous. So Dunn has been playing a little bit of a Nadsy's role almost. So maybe they're working for Ockerby here or even Nadsy. That'd be good to see Nadsy up there. I really like Nadsy to place up in that top three, and it'd be great to even throw the arms up for Nadsy because he is that super domestic. So it'd be great to see him get that favour repaid back to him. And we'll have to make sure that Nadsy shifts work out for the fire brigade, or whether he can actually, I know that he's just upgraded his smart trainer. So he was on the kicker, and now he's on the Tax Neo. So he's made the upgrade there. So I'm wondering how that's going for him tonight. Hopefully he's getting a little bit more edge out of it, like the Cervelo we have. So that is the high end of the smart trainers. So Nadsy's looking for those marginal gains here in this eCrit series.
You know, I've just got confirmation as well that having the helmet on is an additional 2 seconds slower per lap as well. So
slower with the helmet on.
Yeah, because it's additional weight. It's more aerodynamics. Like, it's more wind resistance. It makes sense, right?
I I think your avatar should be bold to get that extra wind resistance of not having it. You'd think that with that helmet on, it'd be more aero, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the Watopia world, it doesn't work like that.
Maybe it varies. Maybe people just got an arrow head. They got a shape like an egg or like an aeroplane's wings. But I've also got additionally good news. Cameron Roberts, who tore up the eCrit in the first 10 weeks, he then made a move over to the United States to race 6 or 7 weeks in the local crit scene, which, by the looks of his Facebook page, went really, really well. But he's now back in Australia, and he is watching the live stream right now, and he's hoping to be back next week and in amongst the pack. And if you've not raced with Cameron Roberts, if you're Pat Shaw and you've not had the pleasure of riding with Cameron, he's essentially Pat Shaw's clone. He's his twin. He can do all the same things Pat can do, so that means it's going to be so tough for the sprinters to hang on next week.
Yeah,
and they're on the Classics course.
On the Classics course as well. So I just got a bit of feedback from the Wolfpack crew. Nadsy is actually a lap down, so I think it might have been Nadsy who had the dropout then, so from the Wolfpack crew. So that is very unfortunate. So Nadsy won't be able to get up in amongst it for those podium tonight, but he will definitely still give his best and get in amongst it with these guys attacking. So playing that policeman role, obviously now. Ockerby's still in there with a good chance, and obviously Dunn as well.
So the official standings of who will actually go to the Melbourne finale has not yet been finalized. When it will be Glenn Knight on the KISS Road Race Facebook, so I highly recommend you are a part of that Facebook group. There's the KISS Road Race Facebook group. Because when it'll be announced, I'm fairly certain there'll be a wildcard spot. That was at least speculated. This is all speculation. But if I had to give a vote, I would give it to Nazi. Just out of pure, like... So, you know how Team Sky has Super Domestiques? They still go on to win their own races like the Giro d'Italia, like the Volta a España. Nazi, he could win everything, but he just puts it out on the line to help Aaron Dunn and Ockerby. And he's been a vital, vital piece to the puzzle.
Definitely has been, Jasper. So, yeah, there is that wild card there. So Nadsy was shouting it out, and now that you've brought my attention back to it, I did hear that there was that wild card, but I didn't know whether it was actually for real or not. So I know Glenn Knight does a lot of work getting all these points and these things tallied up. So he's put all this together. So big shout out to Glenn Knight for putting everything all in place so these riders can race this series and get it amongst it. So, yeah, make sure you do... get part of the KISS Facebook page so you can keep updated on everything, and any questions, then fire them Glenn's way also with the racing. We see them go under the banners now. People will be just have their hands up towards the sky and asking for a power up there. I reckon they want that nice big aero power up. So I wonder who got it this time. We probably will see some riders starting to guard that power up now. Now we're getting towards that last part of the race, Jasper.
And you can see just the opposite, people getting the draft boost and go, come on, they're throwing their arms up in disgust, popping that draft, and he goes, okay, next time around, I've got one chance left. But, I mean, the race, usually you can sit in and you can tell, okay, it's been a controlled race, they've saved that air part from the gun. But there have been so many attacks today, there have been so many uncontrolled breaks, that riders have had to use their aero power-ups just to, like, close gaps. So it's not even, we could see a sprint today with featherweights, with people having experience power-ups, with drafting power-ups. So we'll see how it goes in there. We do know, talking of marginal gains, the aero power-up is stronger, better, and more important than any piece of equipment you can have. Try doing a sprint without an aero power-up, then try do a lap, and then do the sprint again with a power-up. It's going to be night and day.
Huge. It's huge difference, yeah. So, yeah, and also you can have the aero power up, but you've got to get the timing right also. You don't want to go too early with it because these riders are saving that last part. Some of the riders that are doing the lead outs are popping the aero power up early so then they can do the lead out and sort of lead in. We do see some riders usually, if they don't have the aero power up, they will start to try and do an attack with a featherweight because they're just not confident going in with a featherweight to that sprint. And you wouldn't be either with these aero power ups because there is a huge difference.
Even a mediocre sprinter, and I say this in no bad way whatsoever, but some people have got different, abilities out on the road. Even a mediocre sprinter with an aero power up could contest Mark Cavendish on Swift. Just saying, that's how strong and how ridiculously overpowered the aero power can be from time to time. But I like it. I mean, I really like that. It throws some spice into it. Anyone can win, given they're lucky on the day. What do you think about that, Wes?
Yeah, there's definitely some truth to that because the aero power up can make the standard or even poor sprinter awesome. Yeah, it really does make a huge difference. So without it, you're gonna have, if you don't have an aero power up towards the end of this race, you're gonna have to attack. To be honest, that's the only way. You can push forward. Even with that attack, you're going to need some sort of power up or something. Even if you've got a featherweight to try and create that little bit of a gap, because this last part of the race, the power is on, and these riders even now are still setting a pretty hard tempo. Look, we got that 300, 400 watts here, 170 heartbeat. I'm very glad I'm commentating this right now.
Oh man, I was racing last night, and I was like, is this what the eCrit guys goes through every Tuesday? I kill myself. I can barely walk afterwards. I'm like stumbling around trying to get something to use as like a walking cane. And the eCrit guys are doing it every week, every Tuesday. And they've done it for what, 5 months in a row, 6 months in a row at the end of this? Man.
Yep. I think these guys each week it hurts so much that they just want to come back and make sure that it is the same the next week, or whether it's going to get that little bit harder or not. Because we did see when we had the GCN, we had Cy in here, that lifted the level greatly. Like there was no lulls at all. Like usually we see an attack and then a bit of a lull in the bunch. Everyone sort of groups up and has a little bit of a piano, bit of a stop in there, make sure that everyone recovers a bit, then it goes again. Where last time when Cy was in amongst it, it did not let up. There was attack after attack, and usually you get that little bit of lull when the attack comes back. It was just straight over the top, and the pace was held so high. So yeah, and I think that's still carried on a little bit during this racing here, even the weeks after.
Definitely.
It's starting to make that Zwift effect we were talking about earlier, Jasper.
I think we need to set up another Facebook page, Swifters Anonymous. That's what we need to do. Hey everyone, my name is Jesper, and I'm a Swiftaholic.
We do have a secret firefighter. Adrian Adams is a secret firefighter in amongst this bunch, so we may have some secret Zwifters come out as well.
Oh, I like it. That was inspired. That was inspired by Neil, what's his name? Oh, I forgot his name. I should know this. It's Watopia, my man on the YouTubes. He put up a nice t-shirt up in the Swift Oz page that says, "Hi, my name is blank, I'm a Swiftaholic." I still can't say it. It just twists my tongue. Whatever, that t-shirt. Exactly. Thank you for bailing me out, Wes. But that t-shirt is so awesome, and I've already ordered one, so one day you'll see me wearing that right on stream.
Swiftaholic, I like it.
Well, I have to be able to pronounce it when I actually wear it on stream, so tonight I can blame the Red Bull and the early start.
If you're wearing it, people can read it. You don't have to say it. You'll be safe.
I just imagine if you were picking on their like panoggles and be like, "What's it say, honey?" Oh god. One lap to go, Wes. Do you have the bell ready? Here we go.
Oh, I have the bell ready. Hold on. There we go. Oh, there we go. Jasper's got the bell. Got the stickers on the bell.
I still have not actually gotten the proper cowbell. This 5 weeks into it now, Wes.
We'll have one in Melbourne. let's leave it at that. We'll have one in Melbourne.
Oh god.
Hassan is still in amongst it here too. So from Aussie Hump Day, so Hassan is quite a good finisher as well. So we've still got a few other names here that could be wildcards in here. Jasper, who is your pick for tonight?
Man, mentioning Damo Hassan, I've been bit so many times in the behind because I've been picking Damo Hassan to finally get that top spot at the podium. And he's always there, but he just lacks that bit of like aggressiveness, assertiveness coming into the finish line. I would love to pick Mr. Hassan, but I think tonight our return to predominance is going to be, if that it's even a word, that's going to be Aaron Dunn. I think we're going to see Aaron Dunn take the top spot tonight, even though he's not actually won a race in quite a while now.
Yeah,
what's your pick?
Hasn't won a race for a little while now. My pick is Pat Shaw. I reckon Pat Shaw's he's come back. He's come back from. Hey, that's not very nice. He's
no, it's just the fact that we're really boring with our predictions. We're like, okay, we're gonna go pick the second strongest rider and the strongest rider. These are our two picks. Now throw those out the window. Scroll back 5 minutes. Who do you pick? Not Pat Shaw, not named Aaron Dunn, not named Luke Ockerby. Who wins tonight? Wes.
Jones.
That's a good pick. You stole my pick now. You gotta go back 5 minutes and rethink it as well. Oh God.
Jones in the Bumblebee. Let's see if Jones opens up a gap and flies. Like we did see him a couple of weeks back do that fly. Wasn't that even last week he won actually and did that early move? And Ockerby was come through in second place, but won. That was
no.
correct,
Last week was Savatsky, Ockerby,
Savatsky.
And what was it? It was Shaw as well in the line. That was the top three. We're getting really close to the finish line. We're just casually strolling over because that's how the race has been panning out today. But I'm actually going to go with my good friend Anthony Vegan Porsche. I have not seen him mark attacks like he's done today. And that must mean he's feeling good. I know he's having a bit of that like eCrit downness because he's been racing it again and 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 again. So, but tonight, I think he's refound the motivation to... maybe just take the win. He's struggling though because he's like 59 kilos and it's tough to produce the top end watts when you're that light in a crit series.
In a crit series, that is difficult for him, but we do have that uphill kick. So if he uses that power up to perfection, he could be in with a running here. So we will see some other riders that don't have those power ups. Usually this is the time to go. This is it. There's usually that last bit of a stretch here before we get it amongst it. Usually we always see a flyer go down through here, but no one's going to move. Everyone must have an aero power up. It looks like it because no one's using those drafting and those other really useful but not useful power-ups at the time. So it's the aero power-up that everyone wants and everyone's hanging out for. So it looks like everyone's sort of playing. Everyone sort of looks like they're playing policemen at the front here, looking at each other, not letting anyone sort of make a move here. They're all sort of cancelling each other out almost. We see the Wolfpack crew. We see Keel up here in amongst it. We see the Wolfpack crew in amongst there. Dunn, Ockerby, and it is quite a tight group. Zavatsky, look at the tight group there. Everyone wants to be at that front end there, don't they, Jasper?
They're so close. But if you are... The thing is, somebody has to go, though, because... Oh, is that Polly going for it? Polly's trying, but he's taking it back down again. It was not a real attack. It was a shimmy, as we've seen him do before. But they've got to go, because they know they can't beat Zavatsky. They can't beat Ockerby. If you are Anthony Vegan Porsche, Jeffrey Keel, you've got to go right now, because there's 1K to go. They're on the La Rouge. They're going to turn left, and they're going to hit that incline. And once we get to the top, it's pretty much game over.
Yep, and we'll probably see Jones be the first one to go. That's my pick for tonight was Jones. We see a featherweight being popped. Whoa, look at this one. Pat Shaw has gone really early, so he's gone absolutely ballistic here, Jasper. Look at that power being put down.
Look at the cadence, though, 120 RPM, but Ockerby with the aero power up, matching it. But he's working as a lead-out man for Savatsky right now, but 15 watts per kilo. And there comes all the aero power-ups. They have been saved. Wow. Nothing is over quite yet. Pat Shaw caught. Ockerby now going. It's going to be Jones. It's going to be Savatsky. It's going to be Dunn. It's going to be Keel. Everyone down to the finish line. They could still catch Ockerby now. Ockerby is fading. Jones is coming back, and Dunn is as well. This is gonna come down to the wire. Ockerby is gonna get caught. No, is he? One.
What a
Ockerby, 2 Dunn, 3 Savatsky, and 4 is gonna be Oliver Jones.
Jones, Bumblebee there. I thought Bumblebee looked like when he first went there, it looked like he was going to actually close that gap and go over the top. But Ockerby, strong sprint there going so early, also really holding onto that power. That looked like some absolute lactic build up there. So these riders, look at the dead stop here, most of these riders now after that effort. Yeah, I would probably be having a little bit of a rest after that effort too. So awesome race by everyone here tonight. So we see that the remembrance of the original bunch come through here, just got tailed off in there. So awesome job, guys, getting amongst this right on from me and Jasper. Well done.
Well done. So we have to analyze that. Pat Shaw got the drafting power up, which meant he went really early, and Ockerby slid into the wheel and tried to draft him for as long as possible, which meant he had to start his sprint at like the 750 meter mark, and then Savatsky and everyone else slipped back in, and because of that early sprint, Ockerby faded, but he faded just enough to actually win the race with like half a wheel in front of his teammate Aaron Dunn. Good race all around. Yep. Are you proud?
I'm pretty proud of those guys. That was a really well executed there. Like we had Dunn, Ockerby was the first to respond to Pat's move, and then Dunn coming over the top in case anyone else was going to take it off the Wolfpack crew. So really strong dominance there by the Wolfpack crew in this series. Ockerby has proved that he's a very strong sprinter and quite fast. So you know, if they're going to be the ones to beat in this final round on the 19th September.
But the thing is, will they or won't they have Nazi? Because if they don't, that's going to be a massive deal breaker.
It is, and that will change the dynamics of the racing a lot. If they don't have that third member there, they're domestic, they're super domestic, Nazi. So he will be hashtagging, I reckon, right about now, Nazi wildcard again. So I'll keep re-tagging and re-sharing his one for him, because I think everyone in this Pello would love to see Nazi there. He has been, not only in this eCrit series, he has been a very strong Zwifter in all the other KISS races as well, and been highly featured in a lot of the KISS races. So Glenn Knight, I'm sure he'll take that into account of the amount that Nazi gets involved in all of these KISS races that are hosted.
You know, the thing also about the live finale is that there's going to be 10 riders in the race. We've seen the eCrit with 100, with 110, with 90. Now, the actual finale, I think, will only be 10 riders, the 10 invitees. That's going to be a totally different ballgame. You're going to have to chase down Pat Shaw like a million times.
Yeah, being that that exclusive only 10 riders will change it up a little bit, because you won't have that Pello to sort of coast in at times also. So being only 10 riders, it's like you're in a breakaway almost, that situation, isn't it?
See, this is just speculation. They've still not been confirmed, but I am speculating that the actual live finale will only be the 10 invitees. For me, that makes sense, but it's subject to change. We're just going to go with that, because if it's only the 10 riders, is that going to come down to a breakaway or reduced sprint, do you think?
Well, I think if it was only those 10 riders, having someone like Nazi in there would be key, you know, with 10 riders, and yeah, that definitely would give them a very good advantage. But yeah, it will change the racing a lot. I hadn't really thought of that aspect of it if there was only the 10 and not the other riders in amongst it there. So yeah.
Still all have to be confirmed. Keep an eye out on the KISS Road Race Facebook page. This is still just speculation. Big underlining that this is Jesper Anchor conspiracy theory speculations. So please do not take my word as it is. It's still all to be confirmed. I'm just saying, if it's going to be 10 riders, it's going to be firework from the gun to the finish line. There's going to be no resting. There are going to be a million sneaky jails. There's going to be soneurs. There's going to be pictures of your setups. There's going to be pain faces. There's going to be everything that we've had so far in eCrit in one race at the finish line. In about an hour, we're going to be live with the Western eCrit. It's going to be John O'Bates, Ben Simpson, Ruben Walsh, Steve Yates, Richard Cook, Richard Gills, and Anthony Ciano. We'll see you then.
See you then.